Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. Still remember me? My name is Miss Nur Bahira Muhammad Nur, or you can call me Miss Bahira, and I'm from SMK Kandis, Bachok, which is situated in Kelantan. So as you recall, before this, I've told you about the introduction to the 1119/1 and 1119/2 SPM English paper. So today I would like to go more in depth so that we will take a look at sample questions for report and also article, which will be asked for directed writing, which is for 1119/1 SPM English paper. So let's begin. Alright, so this is the outline for today's show. So first of all, I will show you the sample question for report and also sample question for article. And of course, we will proceed with how to write a report, and next, how to write an article. And at the end, we will do a little bit of a recap. Okay? Okay, so what is a report? So as you have learned in the previous show, there are different kinds of report. Okay, newspaper reports, maybe you can report on a club activities, or minutes of a meeting is also a report. And of course, a report is usually written in the past tense. Because remember, you cannot write on something that has not happened yet. So you have to write a report on something that has happened. So this is why we use past tense when writing a report. Okay, let's take a look at the question. But first, this is the format for report. Remember this? So for the report, you need to address the report to the principal, and then you need to write your school name, of course, and you need to put a title for your report so that your reader would know what you are trying to say or what you are trying to tell them. And then for normal essay, normally you would have introductory paragraphs, and of course the body of the essay, and lastly you need to have the concluding paragraph. And don't forget, at the end, at the bottom of the essay, you need to write written by or reported by or maybe prepared by, and then put your signature and then also your name, all in capital letters, and then put a bracket, and then your position if it is mentioned in the question, and of course English club. So that is the format for report. Okay, what about article? So an article is usually written in magazines and newspaper. So most often than not, you would read articles when you flip through magazines or when you buy newspapers. But remember, when writing the article, you need to write accordingly to your audience. Okay, let's have a look at the format of article. So this is the format for article. It is the same as report in the sense that both report and also article, you should write or you should provide a title for both report and article. The difference is only in the writer's name. So if you recall, for report, the writer's name is written at the bottom of the essay. However, different to article, the writer's name is written directly below the title. And of course, you go with the introductory paragraphs, you need to have a body, and in the end, you need to have concluding paragraph. So this is the format for article. Okay. So what is the conclusion from both the format for report and article? So the format for report and article are pretty much similar. You need to have a title, and you need to mention the writer's name, and the only difference is the placing of the writer's name. So for report, the writer's name is at the end after your concluding paragraph. But differently, for article, the writer's name is directly under the title. That's the only difference. Alright, so are you ready to answer some questions? Let's take a look at the sample questions. Alright, so this is the sample question for report. So let's read together. You have just returned from a leadership camp organized by Malaysian American Commission on Educational Exchange. You are asked to write a report to the principal about the camp. Use the following notes to write your report. All right, so there are content points given. Remember, how many content points do we need for DW? 12 content points. So this is the content points: date, day, and place of the camp, number of participants, accompanying teachers, aims. You are given 2 aims there: teach leadership skills and exchange ideas. And then activities. Here, 3 activities are given: workshops, team building, and also treasure hunt. Okay, so in your report, you must remember to address your report to the principal. Don't forget that. And state 2 benefits for attending the camp. So if you can count the content points, let's count together. Okay, date is content point number 1. Day, C2, so C short for content. Place of the camp, that is C3. Number of participants, C4. So the aims, there are 2, C5 and C6. Activities, there are 3, workshops, team building, and also treasure hunt. So only 9. So where are the other 3? State 2 benefits for attending the camp. So that's where the content points are from. Okay, let's take a look at the next slide. Okay, so how to write a report. First of all, you need to recall the format for a report. For example, address to principal and the title. Don't forget at the end, you need to put reported by, written by. Okay, and count the content points. Are all 12 content points given? So if not, if there are not enough 12 content points, you need to come up with your own content points. Okay, how many? So you need to count how many are given in the question and how many that you need to come up with on your own. And remember, don't forget, use past tense. All right? Let's have a look at the next slide. Okay, so these are the content points. Okay, so I've already put the content points and I've already circled. So preferably, this is something that you should do in your question paper. Okay, so you can write on the question paper, you can highlight the question paper, don't worry. Okay, so we put there C1, date, day C2, place C3, number of participants C4, accompanying teachers, that is C5, and also aims, there are 2, C6, C7, activities, there are 3, C8, C9, C10, and lastly 2 benefits. These benefits are not given in the question, remember? So these 2 are something that you need to come up with on your own. So benefit 1, C11. Okay, for example, make new friends from other schools. And benefit 2, this is the last content point, C12. Enhance knowledge and sharpen skills. Okay, so when you have all 12 content points, now you are ready to write the report. All right, so let's take a look at the sample essay. So this is the sample essay. Okay, as usual, the content points, the format starts with F1, which is to principal, SMK Kandis. That is the first format. And the second format is the title, leadership camp. Okay, this is the example introduction. So introduction need not to be long, but then you need to introduce the subject matter so that the person reading your report would know what you are trying to tell them. Okay, let's read together. Leadership camps are interesting avenue to meet fellow students who are appointed as student leaders, for instance, class monitors and prefects. Luckily for me, I was chosen to attend a leadership camp organized by the Malaysian American Commission for Educational Exchange. So it is very short, it is very simple, and you can take all of these points from the question itself. Okay, you don't need to come up with your own introduction really. You need to study the question, and some of the sentences in the question, you can take it and you can put it in your introduction. Pretty simple, right? Okay, let's take a look at the body. Okay, let's take a look at the body of the paragraph. So for the second paragraphs, okay, let's read together. The camp was held on February 2nd on Monday at the Dewan Jubilee Perak in Kota Baru. So here we have C1, we have C2, and we also have C3. The date, the day, and also the place where the camp was held. The venue was chosen because it is in the middle of Kota Baru and there is ample space for parking. So ideally, for one content point, you should provide 2 elaborations. So that's the ideal number of sentences that you should provide to expand your idea. All right, so for paragraph 3, the next paragraph, in total, 10 students from each school were chosen. They were chosen based on their academic excellence and positions held at school. 10 schools from each district was involved in the camp, and 2 accompanying teachers were accountable for their students. So in this paragraph, there are C4, number of participants. There are also C5, number of accompanying teachers. Okay, let's take a look at the next paragraph. Okay, this is for the aims, C6 and also C7. Okay, let's read. One of the aims for the camp was to teach leadership skills such as active listening, empathy, thinking skills, and creativity. So for the expansion of idea, you can provide examples. For example, in this sentence, we provide examples such as active listening, empathy, thinking skills, and creativity. All right? So that is C6. Okay, C7. Another aim was to exchange ideas. The camp was a great platform for networking so that the schools involved can plan plans for future programs. All right, so those are the aims. Okay, the activities, there are 3 activities, C8, C9, and also C10. Okay, so in the paragraph, there were many interesting activities held on that day. For me, the workshops were my favorite as we gained many insights on what it takes to be a great leader from the discussions and sharing sessions. Other than that, so you can use sentence connector. For example, other than that. Okay, other than that, team building activity was super fun as well. We learned to trust and communicate to get the task done. Another activity was treasure hunt, where we needed to read the clues given and complete the task before receiving our rewards, which were merchandise from the sponsor. So those are the 10 content points given in the question. Okay, for the next 2 content points that were not given. Okay, let's take a look at the next slide. All right, so from all the paragraphs before, those are the 10 content points that were given in the question. So now we will write about the 2 content points that you have to come up on your own. Okay, so let's read this paragraph. In addition, there were 2 benefits that the participants reaped from the camp. We made so many new friends from other schools. It was super exciting to exchange ideas and listening to different opinions from other participants. Moreover, from the activities held, we were able to enhance knowledge and sharpen our skills to better equip ourselves as student leaders. So those are the 2 content points that you have to come up with on your own. All right? So 12 content points done. Let's take a look at the conclusion. So this is the conclusion. You can use all in all, you can use in conclusion, or maybe you can use in short or in summary to signify that this is the last paragraph. Okay, so all in all, it was an unforgettable experience. The knowledge imparted from the workshops is invaluable. If I were given a chance to go on similar event in the future, I would do it in a heartbeat. So this is an idiom, okay? Sometimes it is, good to include 1 or 2 idioms or idiomatic expressions in your essay to make it livelier and more appealing to the reader. Okay, so that is the sample essay for report. Let's move on to article. Okay, but before that, remember, write the report in past tense, address the report to the principal, come up with your own title, don't forget the writer's name, elaborate all the points given, and last but not least, make sure there are 12 content points given. If there are no 12 content points given, then you need to come up with your own content points. Okay? Okay, so this is the sample questions for article. Let's read. You are the secretary of the English Society in your school. For the weekly news bulletin, you have to write an article on making money for teenagers, tips and techniques. Include the following points in your article. So there are content points given. teenagers, who are they, aged from 13 to 17 years old, why teenagers need to make money. So there are 4 content points given there. Financial independence, future plans, further studies, emergency cases, and for how to make money, there are also 4 content points given. Dropships, deliveries, paid reviews, part-time jobs. So in your article, you must remember to give your article a title and state 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages of having your own money. So if you can see in the question, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 content points given, and you need to write your 4 content points that you have to come up with on your own. Okay, clear? Okay, let's take a look at the next slide. How to write an article. So first, you need to recall the format for article, the title, and the writer's name. So count the content points after that. Are all 13 content points given? So for article, there are only 2 marks for format. So that means you need to come up with 13 content points. This is only for article. For other formats, there are 12 content points because there are 3 marks for format. But for article, since there are 2 marks for format, so you need to come up with 13 content points. Alright? Okay, next. Okay, so those are the content points from the question. Okay, so for C1, content number 1, definition of teenagers just now, teenagers aged between 13 to 17 years old. Okay, for C2, C3, C4, and C5, this is why teenagers need to make money, and also for dropships, deliveries, paid reviews, and part-time jobs. These are for how teenagers can make money. Okay, so for advantage 1, advantage 2, and also disadvantage 1 and disadvantage 2, these are 4 content points that you need to come up with on your own. So I have stated the content points there. For advantage 1, for C10, ease your parents' burden, and for C11, which is advantage 2, be self-sufficient from a young age. Whereas for C12, that is for disadvantage 1, disinterested with school, and for C13, for disadvantage 2, misconceptions that money is more important than academic achievement. So we have all the 13 content points here. So what are we waiting for? Let's write an article. Okay, so this is the introduction for the article. As usual, you need to have the title, okay, and you need to write the writer's name right below the title. So the title is Making Money for Teenagers, Tips and Techniques. So the title is given in the question, but sometimes the title is not given in the question. So in that case, you need to come up with it on your own. Okay, so Making Money for Teenagers, Tips and Techniques by Amira binti Ali, that's the writer's name. Okay, so the introduction. Nowadays, money is an essential aspect of life that one could not afford to overlook. Even for teenagers who are aged from 13 to 17 years old, we need to be financially savvy to ensure the longevity of life is secured by having our own saving. So it is okay to put the content point number 1 in the introduction because it is the definition of a teenager. Alright, so let's take a look at the next paragraph. So the next paragraph, there are myriad of reasons why teenagers need to have their own money. So that is the introduction for the body of the paragraph. Okay, remember we need to have 4 reasons for teenagers to have their own money. So reason number 1, financial independence is one of the biggest reasons why we need to have our own money. Our future plans, that is the next content points, will be easily materialized if we save from now. We can use the saving to further studies, that is the next content point, in case if emergency cases happen. So that is another content points. Alright, so in one paragraph we can put all of it together because it is under the same heading, which is why teenagers need to have their own money. Alright, the next paragraph. In this day and age, we need to be creative to find a source of income. So this is another heading. Okay, 4 content points under this heading. So the first one of the most popular methods is being a drop shipper. You don't need a lot of money to begin and you don't need to keep the stock. Just promote the item on social media and receive payment from the seller for each item sold. If you have your own vehicle, if you don't, you can just stay at home and do paid reviews on Instagram. That is the next content points, or TikTok. And last but not least, you can have part-time jobs to earn more money. So all 4 content points are stated there. Being a dropshipper, and then deliveries, and of course paid reviews, and another content point is part-time jobs. Alright, next. These are the 4 content points that you need to come up with on your own. Advantage 1, advantage 2, disadvantage 1, and disadvantage 2. Okay, let's have a look. There are advantages and disadvantages of having your own money. That is the topic sentence, which is the heading for this paragraph. On one hand, you can ease your parents' financial burden since you have your own money. Moreover, you can become a self-sufficient individual who is independent and does not need to depend on others. So those are the advantages. So it is prudent to put advantages in one paragraph. And in another paragraph, you can put the disadvantages. Okay. On the other hand, there are also the downside of having your own money. You might feel disinterested with school and academic tasks since you are already earning money on your own. Subsequently, you would also have the misconception that money is more important than academic achievement. Alright, so advantage 1, advantage 2, and disadvantage 1, disadvantage 2. We have written and we have expanded, we have elaborated on all 13 content points. So let's take a look at the conclusion. Okay, in short, it is not wrong to be resourceful and save money from a young age. However, one needs to bear in mind one's responsibility as a student and not to be swayed by money earned from the side business or part-time jobs. So that's a concise, short and simple concluding paragraph to end our article. All right? Okay, remember, before writing your article, who is your target audience? Okay, and remember to give a title for your article. Sometimes the title is given in the question and sometimes it is not. So you need to think of your own title, but make sure the title is suitable and related to the subject matter. Okay, don't forget to put the writer's name and elaborate all the points given, all 13 content points, and make sure there are 13 content points. If you are only given 10 content points, that means you need to come up with your own 3 more content points for article only. All right? Okay, so let's recap. So 35 marks for directed writing. Okay, report and article are the formats that will be asked for directed writing. So 35 marks, it will be divided into 3 aspects: 20 marks for language, 3 marks for format, and 12 marks for content points. However, for report, 3 marks for format and 12 marks for content points. And only for article, there are only 2 marks for format and 13 marks for content points. Remember that. And don't forget, be safe out there and make good choices. And I will see you at another time. Bye.